Good morning, Dr. Jameson. Jamie Richards. This is Standard 2 Video Reflection. Please bear with me. It really has been 22 years since I've been in class and my very first video reflection. So go ahead and get started. I looked at, read the Basil Bernstein's theory and musical schooling, and I was moved by story 3 in that the student had the opportunity to be the expert or the teacher, if you will, and how that was shifted and not allowed, and that spoke to me. I think a lot of times teachers move and directions that they're comfortable with and cover their objectives, and so I think that's very important to realize the student can be the expert. I started out in health and PE, coached softball and volleyball, realized I probably couldn't maintain that for 30 years, and quickly went back to school and got my master's degree and became a counselor. With all that being said, the last 5 years I've transferred to a high school counselor, and a lot of times a student will come up to me and mention a college that I possibly have never heard of before. And so in that situation, the student becomes the expert, and I ask them to pull up the college and show me the campus and answer some key questions like, do they offer your major? What is the tuition? Things like that, so that they can become the teacher and the expert in that situation. So I really reflected to that. And also just staying neutral, and that it mentioned usually country music becomes more popular because that's what music teachers are comfortable with, and I think that can be related to any subject for any teacher. I then moved on to the next article that was assigned, and the study of principals and how they feel about CTE instructors coming in. But weakens their lateral entry, so have the knowledge of the skills, but not necessarily the education and teaching delivery component. And I noticed one thing about the study in that their percentages, they had 39 principals, only 18% of those principals were high school principals. So that means 7 principals of the whole study were high school principals, which are the principals mostly hiring CTE career pathway instructors. So I found that very interesting that all of this is kind of reflecting just 7 high school principals. So just, I don't know many, the majority, 59%, was elementary principals, and this, again, that's 23. So I think the study is eye-opening, but at the same time very limited and maybe valid. And all of the averages, means, were right around 3. So that is eye-opening too, that between 1 and 5, all of them are right there around 3. Now the only thing that was low was the hiring of lateral entry CTE instructors. So that was a telling number. I think that was around 2. So that's kind of a telling number. And also socioeconomic, if the lower areas will hire more lateral entry because that's the options for them. So it was very interesting to read. There are just a couple of bits and pieces in there that I was like, I think might need to do a broader study and more high school principals that actually hire the career pathways. But definitely interesting and very valid that CTE instructors coming in lateral entry do have the knowledge, just need maybe a little help in their delivery and teaching and classroom management. And then, of course, I spoke to Dr. Young and Dr. Paik, but Dr. Paik is my principal now, and talked about, her formal observations. And she actually values pop-in observations more than she does the formal observations. And I thought that was very interesting, that when they're formal, they're expecting her or know of the time, and a pop-in is truly a pop-in. And she said she values students. She'll ask them what they're doing, what they're working on, what's the agenda, what's the objective, the goal, and whether or not they can answer her. Our teachers are also required to all have Google Classrooms, where their standards and objectives are posted. So she references those to see if that's actually what they're working on in the classroom when they say they are. She also pays attention to pacing. Again, what are they working on, and is that what they're supposed to be working on? She tries to do a pop-in at least weekly for every teacher. Now we are a smaller early college, so that's realistic for her. And then also, when she does talk with teachers, they present their data to her. And they also show standards. And if 80% of the class doesn't have the standards, she wants it retaught and added to the next assessment. So continuing on. So all in all, that was very informative and eye-opening that the pop-ins is what she values. And the teacher presents the data, because I've been in a previous setting where I was the MTSS coordinator and the assistant principal and we had to pull the data, we had to present it, and then we had to dive deeper into it. Same ideas, M-class and assessments. If 80% of the class didn't have it, then we need to look at it again. And if one teacher, all of her students, high percentage, got it, what is she doing, he or she doing, what's working for them, and let's share it and everybody do it. So, and then also identifying those students in the red that need a little extra support. So anyway, just a little reflection and standard 2. Thank you. Hope you're having a good Saturday.